So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister NEZE, and this is NEZEville. Welcome to another interesting episode on the crazy week that was with barrister NEZE. So today's episode is filled with plenty of updates from previous week's videos. And you guys know that when I bring videos to you guys, I always tell you that when updates come, I'm going to carry you guys along. So let us get right into this video, and don't forget to subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up already. So first on today's news is the very sad, agonizing story of slain hotelier Mr. Owolabi Olubenga. So just a quick recap for those that didn't watch that video or for those that do not know the story. This story is about a United States citizen, a Nigerian-born, US-based businessman who had lived for over 30 years in the United States and decided to come back to Nigeria to invest and retire. So Mr. Olubenga had first opened the farm, which was, going well, and he decided to extend his business by opening a hotel. So the hotel was already built. In fact, it was already running. He was monitoring the hotel business remotely from the United States while planning his final relocation back to Nigeria. And guys, sadly, that very day that Mr. Olubenga came back from the United States, he was picked up at his hotel along with one of his staff, a young undergraduate who was held home as a result of the ASU strike. Mr. Benga spent some agonizing days in the den of these kidnappers who demanded a huge ransom, and his family was able to provide at least a good chunk of the ransom. And despite providing that, Mr. Olubenga was still eliminated by these wicked, heartless, soulless human beings or animals. I don't know what to call them. Not only was he eliminated, the student who was picked up at his hotel, was working as a receptionist there, was also eliminated alongside even the person that delivered the ransom. All three of them were eliminated. So it was a very sad and agonizing story, as though it is now a crime for people to come back to their home countries after spending decades in the cold in a foreign man land. It was such a big discouragement to diasporans who were looking forward to coming back home to settle down. Now the update is that Mr. Olubenga's family have arranged and have in fact repatriated his remains back to the United States for a proper and befitting burial. Now you guys know that it's the norm in Nigeria that when a Nigerian goes abroad and lives there, works there, when he passes, he's usually brought back to his homeland to be buried. So you can imagine the contrast, you can imagine the anomaly, imagine the irony that he passed here and he had to be taken out back to the United States for burial. I can't even begin to imagine the cost, how capital intensive it will be to start repatriating a corpse all the way from Nigeria to the US, but the family didn't mind bearing all the expense. And I can attribute this to two reasons. One, maybe the family feels that they would never be able to step their feet back in Nigeria. They have been so traumatized that the thought of coming back home is completely out of their consideration. And if Mr. Olubenga is buried here, then his immediate family who are resident in the US might not be able to attend the funeral. So that's why they chose to bring him back. That is one suspicion. On the other hand, it can be said that the family is so disgusted, so filled with hate and disdain for the country that they cannot even afford to leave the remains of Mr. Benga in that country that could not afford to protect him. They perhaps despise the country so badly that they feel that the country is not even worth his remains. A country that failed to protect him when he was alive certainly does not deserve his corpse when he has passed. This is so heart-wrenching. His wife, his children, his grandchildren, and even his generations unborn will hold a deeply seated scorn and hatred for their motherland, and they might never ever step their foot back in Nigeria. This story is heartbreaking. So that's an update on Mr. Olubenga. Let's move to the next. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this second story is still an update to a tragic incident that we spoke about on this channel about a few weeks or days ago. Now it's involving the story of a wife who we eventually got to discover is called Barrister Claret, who had an accident and passed chasing her husband and his side CHIC. Just for refresher purposes and in the interest of those that are not fully abreast of that story, so this reportedly happened in Calabar, and the story has it that this lady had a cheating husband, a philandering husband, and he was out at a mall with another woman while his wife was at home. And a friend of the wife, citing her friend's husband, all loved up and doved up with another woman, called her friend to inform her friend that, girlfriend, I just saw your man at the mall with another woman. And the wife zoomed out of the house to the mall to see for herself. And upon reaching the mall, she found her husband truly in company of another woman. And when the man saw her, he took off, he sped off. Which a lot of people say that that's what the average man in that situation will do. No man will sit down and wait to be torn to pieces or have a scene created where his wife is beating up his side chick or tearing at him. So many people have opinions that what that man did was the typical, most rational thing that any man in that situation will do. Okay, so we didn't end there. For some reason, I read the interview of that lady's brother, and he said that typically his sister would not chase her husband because the sister was fully abreast that she had a cheating husband, that her husband was unfaithful in that marriage. It wasn't the first time such an incident had reared its head. So according to her brother in the interview, he said that there must have been another reason. Maybe this particular lady was maybe a friend or something, that there must have been another reason why this woman chose to chase and confront that particular situation, that it's unlike her. It's not in her behavior to be like that. So this woman gave her husband a hot chase, and as she was chasing the man was speeding off, and according to report, he took a sharp turn. I know women now, some women are not very skilled in driving. She used that same force with that speed, boom, to take that sharp turn with him, and her car veered off the road and nosedived with a tree. And that was it, a very ghastly and fatal accident occasioned, and she lost her life. Now, reports said that as soon as this accident happened, the man stopped and the side chick took off, and the man went to start struggling to bring out the mangled body of his wife of 15 years, the mother of his 3 children, watching her all bleeding and dying right in his very arms. And he couldn't take the shock, he couldn't take the guilt, he couldn't bear the trauma, and he slipped into a coma. So report has it that her husband, who we eventually got to know is called Mr. Bassi Sonny, has been in a coma all this while, but just gave up the ghost a few days ago. Like he couldn't survive it, he didn't come out of the coma, and he passed. That is what reports are saying about that situation. This is so painful, so avoidable. It's just the height of indiscretion. It just shows how one bad decision can ruin an entire life or ruin plenty of lives. Now this woman is gone, her husband is gone, leaving behind 3 orphaned children. Who would cater to them? Who would care for them like their parents can? This story is indeed very painful. And although some quarters have said that no, he's still in a coma, he didn't pass, but be that as it may, whatever it is, whether he's still in a coma or he has passed, what is true is that the course of this family's fate has forever been altered. Now, finally moving away from tragedies, thank God, and on the more lighter notes, we have updates on the story/documentary that I did on the OONI of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi. So you'll recall that in that documentary, I detailed the Oba's love life, how he has been married to 4 women at 4 different times within his 7-year reign as OONI, and how his Oloris, that's his queens, keep leaving the palace mysteriously, subtly alleging different things, different vices, different challenges, subtly inferring that there's fire on the mountain, that things are not the way they actually seem to be. And after Olori Naomi had left, Olori Naomi was the 3rd wife, I reported that the OONI of Ife had taken a 4th wife. Well, it seems that the OONI is re-strategizing this marriage thing. Like, he is replotting and re-strategizing. He's like, if this one man, one wife thing is not working for me, I'm going to go on a spree, wife spree, marrying spree. So the OONI has decided to have bunch of wives, a bunch of women surrounded in his house, surrounded in his palace. And when I heard, I shouted, Jesus, what a life. What a life. So after the Oni took the 4th wife, about 1 month after, he took the 5th wife. That's Olori Elizabeth Opeoluwa, which is his 5th wife and the 2nd presently married to him. So we're like, okay, 2 wives, it's all right. Seems this is how African monarchy is. But to our greatest shock and surprise, the Oni has taken 2 more women in addition to these 2 wives that are presently married to him, making it 4 wives presently married to him and 7 in totality. So the Oni of Ife will be marrying Toby Phillips and Ashley Adegoke before his 48th birthday this month. Let's hear a little about Toby Phillips. Toby Phillips is a graduate of marine science from the University of Lagos and a former beauty queen, while Queen Ashley, on the other hand, is a chartered accountant and currently runs an NGO that caters to less privileged kids and widows through the Ashley Adegoke Foundation. She has a master's in accounting and finance from the University of Greenwich and currently runs her businesses in the United Kingdom. Are you guys hearing what I'm hearing? Seasoned women, educated, highly enlightened and exposed women, degrees upon pedigrees. Can you guys see? This is not your regular village girl that we watch in Nigerian movies. The king married the village girl. No, these are seasoned women breaking the bias, and people are wondering what is going on here. Why are all these damsels, these educated women, succumbing to polygamy in 2022? Still to know your what? What is the what? What is going on? What is that? Don't they know their what? Why are women at this level still agreeing to be 7th, 8th, 9th wives? People are surprised. Like, I don't know, young eligible bachelors in town again. Must it be, older men that have been married 6, 7 times and you're coming into a palace where there are 5 other wives? How do you intend to achieve peace and serenity in such environment? Why are women at this level of this exposure stooping low to be part of this kind of agreement? Apart from being a part of polygamy and exchanging viruses and bacteria, if you understand what I'm talking about, some people are also surprised. Why aren't these women curious to know why 3 other women have left within such a short space? Like, is that not supposed to be a red flag? When a man is marrying and the women are leaving, the man is married and the women and the man wants to marry you, are you not supposed to be inquisitive to know why these other women before you couldn't stay? Is it just about the influence and the wealth? Come on. People really took a swipe at these women and simply described them as opportunists. Shikina, do let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think this is love? Or do you think that there's another agenda why this young, beautiful, educated women would want to be 7th, 8th wives in this 21st century? Let me know what you think about the Oni's new strategy and these women who are becoming his 100th wife in the comment section. Assurance, assurance. I give my baby assurance. I give my baby lifetime insurance. I can be tone deaf sometimes, not even bank on my singing skills, but you guys already know what I'm about to talk about. So to close this video, we're going to be talking about popular Nigerian singer DAVIDO and his baby mama stroke ex now back Chioma Roland, also known as Chef Chi. Now you'll recall that these two literally broke the internet about 4 years ago when news of their romance and love affair made it out to the internet. After the news that DAVIDO and Chioma were dating, what we saw, what we were slapped with on social media was a video of him presenting her with an expensive car gift, a Porsche, as a matter of fact. You guys know that DAVIDO is a very generous person and he doesn't spare any expenses when it comes to gifting people that he loves, even people that he does not know. Talking of the ones that he now loves, DAVIDO is just a naturally generous person. Before we could even digest that one, he had her featured as the lead in a musical video that went viral, Assurance. And not only was she the lead in that video, as a matter of fact, that whole song was dedicated to her. That was just it. They were so in love, they were so smitten by each other, they were traveling everywhere together. Even Chioma had to drop out of school, you know, to face her man. She moved into his house, he was flying her around the world, they were attending his concerts together, and before you know it, she was pregnant and she bore him a son, his first son, which they named Ifeanyi. So it was quite beautiful to see. A lot of people fell in love with her personality because, you know, she seemed very homely, very calm, soft-spoken, and quite different from the other girls that we had seen Davido with before her. So she was different. The body was original as at then, and so many other things were just pure. So the wedding bells were rumored to have started, you know, jingling, and everybody was up for it. But before long, the romance went cold. We were no longer seeing them together. There was a distance. News had it that she had moved out of his house, and, you know, they had broken up. Interestingly, the reason for their breakup was not revealed by both parties. They were very silent on their feud. They just went ahead maturely co-parenting their son. Chioma and Davido made it a point of duty not to bring the press into their relationship, which I applaud. So life moved on for the both of them. Chioma was getting endorsements. You know, she had already been linked to a superstar, so she was like a celebrity. She was getting endorsements on this hand. And Davido, on the other hand, was running his thing. He even got another lady pregnant who bore him a second son. So yes, it seemed like that chapter was closed. Well, if you are Team Chivido and you have actually been rooting for these two to get back together, I have good news for you, because they have come out to show that they are back together. And Davido, in this particular video, admitted that they'll all be getting married next year in 2023.
Our wife, 002. Our real wife,
100% going down 2023.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm going to do a detailed documentary on Davido and Chioma's love life, and we're going to talk about it. But for now, this is me just bringing to your notice that Chioma and Davido are back dating. And while this is exciting news for some people, for some others, they're like, girl, be careful. We see another Two-Face Idibia and Annie Macaulay situation brooding and breeding here. Don't say we didn't warn you. Getting entangled in baby mama's multiple children and emotional heartbreak, makeup and breakup here. Ask Annie Idibia. So many people are very scared for Chioma and have likened her situation to Annie Idibia and suspect that this whole charade might not end up being beneficial to her. Anyways, that is the opinion out there. Let me know what you think about this makeup right in the comment section. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. We have finally come to the end of today's video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, drop all your comments in the comment section, subscribe to our channel if you're not, and stay glued for the next one. It's me, your girl Barrister NEZE, and this is NEZEville. I'll see you guys in my next video. For now, bye.